Hey guys, welcome to Sober Talk. You're here because you want to get sober, you need to get sober, or perhaps you're just sober curious. Whatever the reason may be, man, I'm glad you're here. So, how do you know if you have a drinking problem? It's real easy. If it causes problems, you have a drinking problem. If you're like me, you started drinking to deal with problems. And if you're like me, the drinking became a bigger problem than the problems you were trying to deal with. My check liver light came on. I started having heart issues, and I was breaking my wife's heart because I love the alcohol more than her and the kids. At least it appeared that way, and at the time, for many years, it was. But look, it is what it is, and it sucks that I am wired this way. Call it a disease, call it a character flaw, call it whatever. I just can't drink like a normal person. So alcoholics and addicts in recovery, they need a few things to stay sober. One, we need structure. So most every night during the week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm here live, taking calls. We're sharing war stories. I mean, sometimes those stories are hilarious, and sometimes those stories end with people losing their careers, their family, and sadly, sometimes they end in death. Anywho, I am glad you're here. It helps me. It helps a lot of people. We lean on each other, man. We are family. So do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, like and follow Sober Talk Live and join our private Facebook group. You can find the link on SoberTalkLive.com. SoberTalkLive.com. And my TV just went out. All right. Love you guys. And lastly, I am not a doctor. I cannot give you medical advice. Talk with your doctor before going cold turkey and try to stay positive when you're making comments. And if you come on the show, don't cuss. I don't want to get banned. I need this page. All right. Love you guys. See ya. What happened to my TV, man? Well, we're trying it again. We're doing it again, Michael Meehan.
Take two.
Take two. So yeah, let's see what happened here. So you think your buddy's home?
I hope so.
Okay. Well, let's try it. Let's just freaking try it.
He's old and sober like the rest of us. He should be home.
I love it. All right, let's call him up. All right, we're gonna call Michael's friend here. So, hello, howdy, guys. Welcome back to Sober Talk, man. We got Michael Meehan in the studio. I'm so glad you drove all the way down from French Lick, Indiana, buddy. That is awesome.
It's a beautiful drive.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on now.
Let's see if anybody's home.
You think he's home? Well, you know what? Let's get the phone. So, hey, this is did we look squashed? Did we look squashed like we did earlier? Hopefully we don't. All right, we are Bluetooth and we are connected to, and we are going to Josh Graves. Hey, buddy.
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
There we
Hey,
go.
we got Josh Graves. Now, Josh, do you live up near our Michael Meehan here?
Unfortunately. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Okay.
What you doing? All right. How long do you know Michael Meehan? I mean, how long?
About 4 years now. Me and him took
Yes.
All you gotta do is just turn one. I think we're good. So, how long have you? Tell us your story. I want to hear your story. Share at home with what people have. What you have. Tell them. Share at home. Share what you have for the people at home. How long have you been sober? And next story. I'm sorry. I'm a hot mess right
We're
now.
all kinds of backwards.
Oh,
Oh,
geez,
man. Hey, that's what we're good at.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I get
Yeah.
frustrated. He came in the other night, and can I tell him what you asked? So we start having problems, and I start my personality start getting heightened. I was getting stressed out. You
It
haven't
was
really.
getting crazy.
I wasn't getting. He's like he came in. Hey man, Tom, off the record, dude. I mean, brother to brother. Were you lit up the other night? Like lit up? What does that mean? What does lit up mean? No, I wasn't lit up. But I do get frustrated. But we do have a.
You went from 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds the other night.
Did he? And here's something else. This is Carrie Floodman. Go share this to and Tom Mabe Comedy, please. Please do that. I forgot that. That's another thing. When we started over, we had that issue. So give me a second. Let's get this shared over to the pages here. And Michael, I lose you? I mean,
No, I'm still here.
Josh? All right, good.
No, good. I'm here.
Just ask her to Share.
Surprised he was watching tonight after the fiasco the other night.
Oh, jeez.
He was
Who?
you. I was surprised Josh was watching. He was. I could tell he was upset that we didn't get to go live the other night.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: What
Well,
was
because
what?
go ahead.
I want to know how long you've been sober and what made you get sober.
Man, January 16th, I'll have 5 years this coming January. Kind of about like everybody else. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had burnt all my bridges. I was watching everything around me just fall apart. And, and here I was just stuck and lost in a world I didn't know how to get out of. And I finally got to the point where I knew I was either going to have to go ask and get help or I was going to die in the ditches.
Wow.
Basically. So it was, and I traveled. I worked on the road for 19 years working construction. So it was wild out there sometimes. And
No, I
I
remember
was,
this. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I have a very addictive personality. So it can be drinking, drugging, gambling, whatever it is. If it makes me feel good, I will do it till it to the max.
If it alters your mood or anything to make
Exactly. Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy today, and I was shooting a video with my best friend, and I was asking him. He said he couldn't look forward to having beer tonight. And I said, I can't even. Right now, I can't even imagine drinking beer. It's not in my. It's just not in my brain. Right now I'm good to go. A couple weeks ago, I was like, I gotta drink. He said, yeah. He said, you know what? It makes me feel so good. What do you tell someone who's self-medicating their mood with alcohol? I mean, what's the other option?
Think of how good you'd feel if you didn't drink.
Do what now?
Think of how good you'd feel if you didn't drink.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I think of when I see other people drinking. And one, we wish we could drink, 1 or 2 beers and be okay with that.
Right.
But we're not built that way, But
and it sucks. I mean, like I said in the intro, I can't. I have no reason to have 1 or 2 beers.
no, that's not what it's made for. They don't make it to just drink 1 or 2. They make you drink as much as you possibly can, or there wouldn't be so much out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like why we eat cows, because they're made out of meat. Why you drink beer, because it's beer. That's why. But I feel better now that I don't drink, and I thought I felt good while I was drinking, and it was just in heightened imagination that I was feeling really good until I came off of it. But now getting up and just feeling good, just being alive and being sober, and being able to enjoy stuff and remember it. I mean, that's what we talk about a lot, is not hurting no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically when I started out having fun, and then it got to a point where I had to have it, and then it got to a point where I was having it to cover up the pain and everything that went with the addiction, and the more I drank, the more I covered up my problems with the booze or drugs, and I got to a point I didn't know how to live sober. And until I finally got to that point where I surrendered to it, then I was able to start seeing, I had to go to treatment, but once I started realizing I could do it sober, then I had to learn how to live sober.
Now, you went to treatment. Tell us about treatment. What was that like? And did you, and after the treatment, did you fall off the wagon or anything? Or
No.
Wow. And was it like a detox, like a 7-day detox, a 30-day thing, or what?
Yeah, I went to detox. That was the worst 7 days of my damn life.
Really?
Yeah, it was down here in Jeffersonville at Wellstone, and it was like a hospital setting. It was locked doors, and I was a heavy smoker at the time. I was a heavy smoker, big caffeine drinker. So I went to detox, and I went from doing drugs and drinking alcohol to not doing drugs and alcohol and not smoking and not drinking caffeine. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was.
That really makes you
this,
want to quit, don't it?
and yeah, and this may sound odd, but I think I was more worried and off the nicotine and where I knew I couldn't smoke. It kept my mind, I think, from the major withdrawals. But see, I really didn't start withdrawing hard until probably I left, because the drugs I was on, those withdrawals really didn't start till the 7th to 9th day.
Well, shouldn't you stayed longer?
Well, I had a treatment center I was going to.
Oh, after you got out, you mean?
Yes, I went straight from detox to a inpatient treatment center in Franklin, Indiana.
Franklin, that's about Middletown, Indiana. I've played many gigs
Edinburgh,
up there.
yeah.
I've been drunk many times, many times in that
I've never been drunk, but I've been sober.
Well.
Not in that town, anyway.
So what was how long was it before you finally figured out that this is good? This is a good thing for both you guys. I mean, how long did you go, God, I'm so glad I'm not drunk anymore?
I think that was with days.
Yeah.
They call it the pink cloud. Of course, that pink cloud can bust at any time. And of course it did on me about 2 weeks out of treatment. But all of my sobriety since I've actually went to detox, went to treatment, has been awesome.
Now, what happened 2 weeks? You say it lasted about 2 weeks.
Well, I got about 2 weeks after treatment. I was up in Indianapolis. I got back to work full time. Of course, I was gone for 3 months while I was in treatment. So when I got back, I was a superintendent on that construction crew. So, I mean, my guys were out of tune. All of the, our tools and everything's gone. So I'm working downtown, just north of downtown Indianapolis.
It was back to reality in 2 weeks.
Yes. And
yeah.
So everything was adding up, and I was getting irritable. I was getting irritated. I was getting pissy. I was getting mad. And every time I had to leave to go get something, it was down a one-way street for about 2 blocks to get to the main road I needed to get to, and it was just lined with bars. And every time I left, all these people was out drinking and laughing and cutting up, and every time I saw it, I just get more aggravated and more. I just get mad, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, man, I've been to treatment. I know how to work this. I can get it. I can do it myself. But the more the time went on, the more I found myself getting more irritable, restless, and discontent.
The red.
Mm-hmm.
So they say you drink. Drinking is a symptom of red. Restless, irritable, and discontent.
Yep. And then that one little thought popped in my head, Josh, just one of anything will take this all away. I don't know why you're fighting, all these little voices. I don't know why you're fighting this so hard.
Yeah.
It'll all go away. Literally, it scared the hell out of me. So the one thing that I didn't do that they told me probably 5,000 times in treatment is call your sponsor.
So
and I finally did. I finally
phone.
called him.
Pick up
Yep.
the phone. Hear that a lot.
And that's when that's when the reality of when they told me that when you actually have to call and ask for help, that the phone will weigh 10,000 pounds. Yeah. And I literally would pick it up. I would get his name on there, but I couldn't ever hit send. And I was thinking, why can I not make this call? And it was,
You think it was your addiction? Your addiction?
Yeah, hell yeah, it was. Oh yeah, full 110%. And once I finally made that call, and it happened to be a Friday night, and luckily, right down in Franklin, where I went to treatment, where I knew the majority of the people I hung out with during my 90 days in treatment, they had a meeting that night. So I was fortunate enough to be able to leave work, go and hit the meeting. I went and told on myself, And the other funny part was on my way to Franklin, about 40-minute drive, I found myself getting mad again because I could hear and see all the old timers that was going to be in this meeting, and I knew exactly what they were going to tell me.
They're going to tear you up.
Yeah, and I knew exactly what they were going to say. So then I found myself having that making me mad. And I'm thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah, you're going to have to hear stuff you don't want to hear.
Man, that addiction.
But I knew what they was going to say was the funny part, because I heard it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So, but since then, you know, by the grace of God and the fellowship that I go to and all this, and my recovery group and the action and everything, I have not had that obsession since then like I did that day.
And when you were in detox, did it give you some kind of like medicine to help you, you know, deal with the withdrawals and everything?
I didn't want nothing. They probably would have, but I was thinking, if I'm going to go in and do this, I'm going to do it. I don't want anything, because when I went to, I mean, I'll have to set the stage, I guess, because when I went to detox, I was drinking. I was on a 3-year Suboxone binge.
Now, Suboxone, isn't that for meth or heroin or something?
Pain pills. I was a real bad pain pill addict. Anything pharmaceutical. But when I went to treatment or detox, I was Suboxone, Valium, Xanax, pain pills, speed, like Ritalin. I mean, I was on all that every day. So, I mean, I was detoxing off a lot of stuff when I went in. So when I went in, I was thinking, if I'm going to do this, I don't want nothing, because I had tried everything. The Suboxone was my last big hope, thinking it was going to be the miracle drug to my problem, only to find out 3.5 years later.
You were addicted to the Suboxone.
Well, to that, but I was still taking the pain pills and putting Suboxone back when I needed it. And then I found myself taking more of it. I mean,
you had the perfect
chaotic
storm. You had the vicious cycle. When they talk about the vicious cycle, Josh, that's exactly what you had. It's like drug, get sober, rehab, and repeat. Drug, get sober.
Right. Yeah.
There wasn't anything left to get addicted to.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not saying this to brag or because there's no brag, you know, but I've only been to detox and treatment one time. One and done. Okay. So, and I really hope to keep it that way. But I did try before that 1,000 different methods on my own.
That's what I was going to say. How many times before that did you really try to quit?
Well, I think there was a few times I really wanted to. It was just knowing that I couldn't make it 2 days. I mean, I really wanted to, but I think it just boiled down to I really didn't know how to.
Right. Had you been to meetings and stuff before when you tried? Court ordered or anything like that?
Go to jail? Did he say go to
jail? Oh, yeah, I've been in jail 3 times.
Dude, you rock.
Yeah, hey now. I was under the age of 21, so I got arrested 3 times in 1 year. So
it's been about 19 for me.
I got the high score in the breathalyzer test.
Hey, I kind of felt like Johnny Cash, you know, when he was in Folsom Prison, where he, you know, I spent 45 days, so I thought I was big, bad, tough after that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks so much for sharing. I got a hold of Brian Biggerstaff here. Anything you want to ask him, wrap up with, buddy there, Josh?
It was just good hearing him. I mean, he's a big help for me. He runs a lot of meetings up there, and he hit the ground running when he come out of rehab and started.
That's what I gotta do, man. I gotta, as soon as the holidays are over and I get all the cables here, and now that we got KYSBestHemp.com, a little more structure, I gotta hire a person. You know, so I'm like, why right here, I'm trying to look at the phone number for the, I have a producer in my ear saying, all right, you call him Brian Biggerstaff. His number's
Yeah.
this. And I'm trying to do everything. And it is what it is. It's fine. I'm not
Well,
bitching too much,
look,
but I
yeah,
haven't had time to really work the steps or really talk to my sponsor. I
yeah.
kind of let this and think, knock on wood, I'm in a safe place. But man, it could go sideways any minute
Mm-hmm.
because I really want
Yeah,
to.
you gotta take care of yourself first. Because
That's
if you
what they
can't
say.
take care of yourself, nothing else matters.
No, I understand that. I
And
hear that a lot.
and if when you said you want to hit the ground running, my advice would be just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and don't put too much on yourself because you will find yourself getting burnt out. I mean, I did. Know your boundaries, set boundaries, stick to it, and keep yourself healthy is what I would suggest early in recovery or in anything because like when I first got sober, I was going to save the world. And what I found out that what was happening was I was finding myself going backwards and not getting what I needed for me in my recovery. And I had to really step back and look and set some boundaries, set some goals, realize that, I got to charge my batteries first before I can help anybody else.
Got it.
So,
Yeah. They say be selfish before you're selfless.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing. I get a lot of people think I'm this guru. Like, no, man, I'm 5 months in. Don't look at me. I'm not your savior by any means. Geez.
Well,
You got to hit the ground running to get strong. I mean, you got to go full in to get strong. But then after you get in there for a little bit, you got to learn to pace yourself.
Yeah.
To stay strong.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why right now with the whole body, you guys can't really tell this big sweatshirt, but I've been bodybuilding for 3 days, and I'm pretty buff and stuff.
You can't do biceps every day.
No. And I mean, before long, I will move away from the girl push-ups to the full-blown man push-up. And by the way, your daughter, how many push-ups? Your daughter can bench press a Toyota.
Oh, she's
pretty
strong.
girl, but just cute.
Yeah, she works out constantly.
Jeez,
but
Louise.
even like her, I mean, you can't work the same muscle groups every day, or you'll burn them out.
Yeah.
And just like this, you
got to do AA one
you
day,
do 90
sober
and
talk the
90
next
when
day.
you start out, and then they advise, knock it down to a few a week, and that way you don't get burnt out because you're getting sober to live sober.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sober to live sober.
Yeah, I got sober, and
it takes a while to learn how to do that, to live sober, and you can't. Okay, I've quit drinking for say 90 days. Now all of a sudden I don't need to go to meetings, and I'm just going to start living now because that's an accident waiting to happen right there too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, brother. Good, Josh.
Right.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you guys. We need to talk about this more, bring more awareness and education. So keep doing what you're doing.
We do, and I gotta start living it more. So get away from the cameras and get more of the treatment. All right, buddy.
All right, guys.
See you, buddy.
See you, Josh.
See you, man. See you, man.
What a loser.
Yeah,
he really.
I know.
Wow, he sounds like a real ass.
And it's hard to believe that he leads freaking
like
meetings that I go to.
No, I don't buy it.
We all make fun of him when the meetings are over.
Yeah. We're awful.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, geez Louise. Sounds like a great
guy. He's helped me a bunch, and I know a lot of other people look up to him, and he does a great job.
Wow.
Hello.
Hey, Brian, Tom Mabe, and Michael Meehan calling from Sober Talk. How are you?
Tom, how you doing? Good to hear from you.
Good. Now I got a place down your neck of the woods. It's good to talk to another Southerner. So tell us I'd love to hear your story. Now, are you dealing with sobriety?
Yes.
Are you okay? So it is you. And how long have you been sober?
I have of today is 7 months and 15 days.
Awesome.
I still like to count the days.
Yeah. Tell me your story. What happened? What was the straw that broke the camel's back where you go, I'm going to die, my wife's going to leave me, I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose my job if I don't stop?
Well, where it started for me was about 6 years ago when my ex-wife left me. And I crawled inside of a bottle. And I drank on and off.
Are you a smaller guy?
Yes.
You said you crawled inside of a bottle. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's elongated like we
Well,
live.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, a lot of people do that. I've done it. Oh my gosh, what
And
hell that is, huh?
I mean, it was pure hell. And, I was what I call a functioning alcoholic for a long time. I still worked, tried to raise a family, but, I was constantly thinking about how much alcohol can I make it through to the next day.
Wow.
And but I was trying to replace alcohol with relationships. And when I get into a relationship, I didn't need alcohol because I had something there to fill that void. But I always relapsed and went back to alcohol. And basically what done it in for me was, some legal trouble, realizing I was going to die. And I decided to go to...
Were you literally did it affect your health, or just mean you're going to get drunk and have a car wreck or something, or did you?
No, it was affecting my health. My blood pressure was out the roof.
Yeah.
And,
Same here.
Trying to work, sweating profusely, just everything that I used to be real healthy, but I didn't care anymore. I just was going downhill.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm gonna go to detox, and I was one of these that I used to say this is not a disease, it's a choice. And up until last year, I finally admitted, I've got a disease, but I thought I could go to detox and I'm gonna be fixed. Well, when I got in detox, I realized that wasn't gonna fix me. So I went to a 30-day treatment facility here in South Carolina.
Okay.
But that's when I realized that wasn't going to fix me. This is something I'm going to have to deal with every single day for the rest of my life.
Did you get out and use or drink again after the 30-day facility in South Carolina?
Yes. When I came home,
How long did you make it
program.
before you caved? How long?
Well, to be honest now, is I made it about 2 months.
Oh, wow.
But I was still lying and telling people that I wasn't drinking. And I got it, and I done something that you should never do. I got into a relationship
With someone from rehab.
with somebody that I met from detox.
The double
And
head
we
of monster.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We eventually moved in together.
Mm-hmm.
And she was drinking a case of beer a day.
Okay, wow.
And I
She
still
sounds
wasn't
hot.
drinking.
She sounds hot.
Oh yeah. But at that point, I wasn't drinking, and I would make jokes. I'm the only alcoholic I know that's going and buying a case of beer a day and not drinking. But by
Was
that
that
time,
did you
Yeah.
finally was it hard for you not to buy the alcohol? And I've wondered, and not drink. How long did that last? Buying her a case of beer, and
well, see, I was living on that pink cloud of love, so that's what was filling that void.
Oh, baby. The pink cloud.
And exactly. But so that went on till earlier this year. And then when that fell apart and that relationship ended, I didn't have nothing to stand on, no program. So I went straight back to the only thing I knew how to do, go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about the rock bottom.
Okay.
For me, rock bottom's death, because I've hit a rock bottom before, and I thought it can't get no worse than this. Next time it got worse. Every relapse has got worse and worse. This last relapse earlier this year, it was I was in, I think, 4 different detoxes, 2 different hospitals, went to rehab for 2 days.
And this was 7 months ago, right? This is.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I went to this ago when all this was going on.
Yeah, right. Okay, got
But I even went to the same rehab for 2 days. Spent almost $500 just to get back home, just so I could drink the next day. And it finally took me one day, my sister having to break into my apartment to find me, and her crying. And something finally clicked right then and there. I don't want to die. I can't do this.
That's
How
that moment of clarity.
Yeah, right, right. And I've had that with my cardiomyopathy, and I was having heart problems. I was breaking my family's heart because I love the booze more than I did them. How old of a guy are you, Brian?
I'm 48.
All right, you're still young, and
Yeah.
do you think it's going to now after the okay? You've been 7 months and 7.5 months sober. Uh,
Yes.
Are you working some kind of program? Or what are you doing to keep the upkeep?
For me, I had to finally be happy with myself. I had to forgive myself for a lot of things I did. I wrecked my relationship with my children.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a 17-year-old daughter that to this day does not speak to me. I've got two. They're just now getting to where they'll spend time with me and speak with me.
Gotcha.
But my daughter, and I can't be mad because I've done this to her, because I get sober and tell her, you're never going to see your dad like this again. And then
Yeah.
I send her, and
How
then
many times
how
have
Yeah.
we-
Yeah.
yeah. And it always comes back to the drunk text I send.
Mm.
And
Be patient.
but what I'm right. And I know that's something that I've got to, she's going to come around.
Mhm.
As an addict, we're all addicts.
You
We
want
want
to
that. We want that instant gratification. I want it right now.
me a long time to get my family. I had learned, don't push them, don't force your sobriety on them. You've said you're sorry. You said you've gonna quit for years and years and years. You ain't gonna fix this overnight. So be patient, and in time they'll see. You gotta let them see for themselves. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't
Don't tell
throw
them.
it at
Show.
'em.
Yeah. Don't tell them.
Right,
Show them.
show
And
'em.
that's. Oh Jesus! I'm praying to God now. Please don't ever let me get back to where I was.
Right.
Because my daughter was drunk. She said, "Dad," she could tell I couldn't make up the stairs. She could tell I was drunk off my ass. She said, "Dad, I want you to be able to walk me down the aisle one day."
Hmm.
And if that
When they
doesn't,
were little, they thought it was funny.
oh, I told the story before. You're like this, Brian. We moved in our new neighborhood, and we were walking. My wife was walking Kinsey. He was like 2, down the sidewalk, and she saw, hey, and they said, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. This couple, when they had a kid about Kinsey's age, and the dad said, hey, you want a beer? She said, nah, I don't drink beer. So, and my daughter goes, how she goes, my dad drinks beer all day long. She might have been a tad over the 1 or 2, but
Wow.
enough to know that she had never really seen me without a beer in my hand,
Mm.
and the money, and my co-host, my regular, Jeff Graham, it took him forever. His kids didn't talk to him for months, and now they're watching him on Sober Talk.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's a really really cool thing, and guys, by the way, I use humor a lot of times to stay enthused and just to stay motivated and to deal with things. I'm a comic, so I don't want to offend anyone out there. I don't want to glorify alcoholism by any means, but it is, it is.
We did stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stupid
yeah.
things. But, we can. And I'm sure other people laughed at us when we were thinking we that time too. But,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
And
No, Ma, I ain't drinking.
When he went to the wedding, or one of their dear friends' weddings, Dad, why don't you come along? And he thought it'd be funny that if he cut in, they're having the bride and groom dance. He thought it'd be funny to cut in.
Mm.
He did,
Well-
but he cut in with the guy, the groom. He cut in with the groom, and they were like, he's like, oh
Yeah.
no, that's
Well,
their
That sounds like
Worked out
something I
quite the way
would
you
have done.
planned on
their first dance.
it. And he goofed in on it.
He goofed in,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's this, and everybody were like, oh my gosh.
Great choices while we're drinking.
Oh, jeez. And my wife, she has a, I mean, I get that speech the next day. And first, like, okay, how bad was the last time? Oh, you want to hear what you did? Ha, 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 laugh. And then over the years, like, no, you, I had to call people up and apologize on your behalf.
Mm.
And that's really, and knock on wood, I haven't lost my family yet. I haven't lost my home, my career. It just, wow. Well, Brian, I really, you quit, you realize that, you got to forgive yourself, love yourself and stuff. Are you not doing any like therapy or any kind of groups or
Yeah,
anything? What are you doing?
yeah. I do AA. I do meetings every single day, and this is the way I explain to people is without. It's like a diabetic. A diabetic can't just one day and say, "I'm good. I don't need this anymore," and just quit, go off their medication. They'll die. That's the way I look at this disease I have. I've got to do something every single day.
Right.
And I thank God for you and, this sober talk. This, when I come across this and found it, it's amazing. And this is good. The thing or anybody that's struggling, that's listening right now, is we all think we can't be happy and have fun in sobriety, but you can. And it's the people that you put in your life now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go into these meetings, there is so much love. There's no judgment at all. And that's what I love about this program is nobody's going to judge you. Nobody, because we all know we can slip at any time. We can fall back in our old ways any time. So we're not going to sit and judge you when you come back in and pick up another white shift.
And we got Brian, and we have people on the show who are regulars who have not yet stopped drinking. But they will. We can just tell them about our stories and how we overcame it, and eventually, what do you guys think about that?
Hopefully something on this show, somebody, you, me, one of the callers, somebody texting in, somebody will say something and they'll catch it and it'll make them realize that, hey, I can do this.
Yeah. And we do have people who got sober on the show. They've been sober since when they first started watching. I mean, we have gotten a lot of people there, because we need structure, we need routine. And I get sideways when I can't. When the other night when you came up and I was really needing sober talk that night.
Mm-hmm.
So
we cracked you in the head.
Cracked me in the head.
Calm down, and it'll be okay.
Rob
This
my
too
office.
shall pass. Threw you in your car and sent you home.
You guys did. You're like, go home. You're like, don't even worry about turning the lights out.
It'll
Just
be
go
okay.
home. Well, Brian, so you are doing AA. I'm glad you're doing something. A lot of times people just quit, and they forget why they quit. And they need the constant reminder. They need a sober talk. They need, AA. They need, I have an addiction therapist, specialist, and we get stoned.
Yes, I do that also.
I was trying to make a joke. I'm sorry, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. Anything else you want to say or talk about before we kick you off?
Before you kick me off. If people are out there that's listening today and still suffering from this and struggling with it, keep coming back. And I mean, you hear all these sayings in AA, and I used to think, oh my, it's so
it works
stupid.
If you work it.
It works if you work it, and it just some of these cliches are they're not cliches. We think we could find
Yeah.
work the steps and such an easy process, so easy. But the one thing that I never say anymore.
What's that?
Is when I left rehab last year, people was telling me, you got this. And it swelled my head up, and I thought, I'm bigger than this disease.
Yeah.
So I never tell anybody, don't ever tell anybody you got this, because, we're one problem away from slipping.
Dude, yeah, I'm always, that's me. I feel pretty good right now. Like I said, I'm pretty strong, and I couldn't understand why my best friend's like, man, God, I need a beer. It makes me feel, and I don't know what to say because I don't have, 5 months now. I don't have enough sobriety under my belt to actually, or enough, I haven't gone to enough meetings. Your buddy came up with you the other night, Chris Money. He's been sober for 4 years. Could he benefit more from more meetings, more sponsor? He doesn't even have a sponsor right now, does he?
We're all different. I mean,
Yeah.
I know he says he doesn't work the steps, but if you've got anything at all to do with this program, you may not work the steps with a sponsor per se,
Mm-hmm.
but you listen and learn, and I mean you keep track, you make yourself accountable.
Yeah.
You're working the steps whether you know it or not. And
Mm-hmm.
as far as a sponsor for him, I mean, yeah, he could use one that he could talk to, lean on, consistently, but that's when he bugs me. He brings his problems to me, and I listen to him. And God bless his heart. I mean,
That's awesome.
yeah, he's my buddy. He would do anything for me, and I would do anything for him. I mean, we ran drank for years together, and now we're just doing the sober thing together, and it's awesome.
No, that's great. No, I could
And
tell.
that and
Go ahead.
and that's what I try to do also is someone calls me just to talk, I want to be there for them because they might not be working the program, but they might just need somebody because they're about to pick up.
Yes.
And, you just be there and talk.
I heard a story where a guy was really ready to go out having it was our good friend uh, Gary Adams, and Gary he was my sponsor for a while, but we're just two good friends and our schedules are off. We just kind of we're both musicians, and we're just, it wasn't the best fit. But anyway, he was saying that his sponsor says pick up the phone and call all your sponsees and see how they're doing. And that gave him purpose. Okay, yeah, that's a good tool. Call people up. A sponsee is someone else who's sober, and you're kind of mentoring them. You're their sponsor. So, but and if you don't have sponsees or a sponsor, pick up the phone. Get on our private group. We have one hell of a private group here, man, on Sober Talk. And you go to sobertalklive.com and click over to our podcast, to our private group on Facebook, all kinds of things. So, well, Brian, I appreciate you, man. I want to have you back on.
All right, that sounds good. And it was good talking to you. And if you need me to, I'll go down and check on your place at Hilton Head tomorrow.
Down there on the beach. That's awesome. I want to go down there.
Down on the beach.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Hey, hang in
Talk to
there.
you soon.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Thank you, brother.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
I was so glad he didn't say that he was in the pro. I didn't know if he was just white knuckling it or just doing it on his own.
Yeah.
And when he said it, I was glad to see that he was in some kind of group. Pro. His was AA. Now not everyone does AA. It's what I'm doing now, and I have high hopes, especially when I start working harder. Guys, so if you're tuning in right now, we appreciate you being here.
Well, AA doesn't work for everybody.
You don't think so?
No. No, I mean, like I said, we're all different. Everybody needs different medicine for different problems. But, say my father-in-law, for instance, I mean, I don't think he ever went to an AA meeting. He had a spiritual awakening, and he was sober until he died, until he passed away a couple years ago.
He was 38.
Yeah. And he quit when he was 37. No, but
right. You're right. AA
he went years
is not
and years,
for everybody.
and he I don't think he ever went to a meeting. I never heard of him. And
I hear but people, most of my sober friends are in AA. That's why I finally gave it, because I tried everything, So this is I'm doing AA and an addiction.
I mean, I
specialist.
tried church.
Yeah.
I tried using church to help me get sober, and I think that pointed me back in the AA direction because, He's only going to do for you what you can't do for yourself. Well, getting sober you can do for yourself. He'll give you the strength, but you got to be able to. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, AA is it's a great plan.
All right, guys. So I told you earlier, you can see all the technical difficulties we are having. I have reached out to some companies and a company who specializes in getting brand deals and sponsors. And it's coincidental. Our sponsor now is a product that I was actually going to carry, and it's KYSBestHemp.com, Kentucky'sBestHemp.com, and with that money after the holidays, I'm going to be able to hire somebody, as long as they work for like $1.50 an hour. So, but anyway, real quick, I've been asked to play this commercial for our show. This episode of Sober Talk is brought to you by Kentucky's Best Hemp, KYSBestHemp.com. Here we go. All right.
Hi, I'm Lewis Coleman. Hold on 1 second. I'm here to tell you, take it from my future self. It all starts on the farm. Kentucky's Best Hemp was founded on the notion that in order to make a great product, you've got to start from the ground up. So that's just what we did. We partnered with family farmers to grow the best hemp in the state of Kentucky. And with a little behind-the-scenes magic, we're able to craft the purest CBD products possible. And it's even good for your dog. Come here, doggo. Kentucky's Best Hemp is your best bet when it comes to CBD. Visit kysbesthemp.com to get the product that's right for you.
All right. Well, man, Michael Meehan, thanks for driving all the way up here. That was totally cool of you to do that. Thanks for having dinner with me. Yeah, anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
I just think that this show you got is, you know, amazing with all the followers you got. You know, it's something, if I can't get to a meeting, I can watch.
Yeah.
You know, I can go back and watch old programs. You know, I just wish we could help everybody.
Well, you know, and I think people, when they're ready for help, something will stick. Something will stick. So, all right, guys, we love you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sober Talk. Special thanks to Michael Meehan. And you're so much better than Jeff Graham. So I'm telling you, Jeff,
That poor guy.
Yeah, he
I tried not.
And
Right,
thank
but-
you. Thank you for doing that. Jeff will be. Guys, we'll talk with you soon. You guys, bye-bye. Yeah.